It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. So welcome to Mind Your Business. I am your host, Jamillah Lodge, and I'm so pleased to have you here with us. You're Danielle Paynter, Director of Corporate Affairs at Bacardi.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here. Again, this is not my first rodeo. I was here for another reason, but it's great to be back.
Yes. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Bacardi and how you give back to the community, specifically around the vendor market that's coming up for Black-owned vendors. But before we do that, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do at Bacardi?
All right, so I'm Danielle Paynter. As you said, I'm Director of Corporate Affairs at Bacardi, which is an interesting title because it doesn't explain everything that I do. I am responsible for producing the annual report for Bacardi and project managing the annual general meeting because your viewers may or may not know, Bacardi is the largest privately held international spirits company in the world, which means we have a lot of family members as shareholders, and I help manage some of that communication. But within Bermuda, I'm also responsible for communications, marketing, and PR. And I lead our philanthropy committee and am part of our belonging committee. And our job is just to make Bacardi look good in Bermuda, to keep it simple, but to share and showcase what we are doing for the community and within the community and really contribute and give back and make an impact.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're doing all the things.
It is a very diverse job. No 2 days are the same. It's very exciting. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, that makes it worth getting up and showing up to work every day,
Yeah.
right? And I imagine a lot of the things you do have a huge impact on individuals and people in the community.
Yeah.
One of those is the vendor market that's coming up. So can you talk to me a little bit about that? Why did Bacardi even think, let's have a Black business vendor market?
Yeah.
Why?
So we're coming up on our 4th annual Black-owned vendor market. Yeah, super excited. It's part of our Black History Month activities that Bacardi does. And the genesis of this is really connected to the ethos of Bacardi, which we like to say we're founded on fearless family and founders. And that founders piece is the entrepreneurial side of Bacardi. And that's how our business started. It was two entrepreneurs, Don Facundo Bacardi Masso, and his family created Bacardi rum in Santiago de Cuba 165 years ago. And that entrepreneurial spirit that helped created the best rum in the world is kind of what underpins everything we do at Bacardi. So it was a no-brainer to think, okay, let's do something that supports entrepreneurs and people that are fearless, that are taking risks and creating businesses and building legacies. And then also Bacardi is very much invested in supporting underrepresented and marginalized communities globally. That's a focus for us. Our whole sustainability focuses on people and planet. And within that people category, we want to help those that don't necessarily have all the advantages. So when it came to thinking about ideas for Black History Month, we just put those things together. Let's support a community that doesn't necessarily get the advantages of having that front street market presence or business presence. Let's celebrate and highlight our local entrepreneurs. And then it just made sense. Let's do a Black-owned vendor market hosted at our headquarters, give people that platform, invite the community, and make it an incredible event. And it really has become that over the years. A marquee event that a lot of people look forward to.
Definitely. We all look forward to it. And I really do appreciate the fact that you are taking that kind of entrepreneurial ethos and paying it forward, if you will. Bacardi, your space is beautiful. The headquarters are beautiful. So inviting some of these, like you said, marginalized entrepreneurs in that space creates opportunity for them to get the visibility that they need to maybe take their business to the next level. So we, having partnered with you before, definitely are in line with what it is that you do there.
Hmm.
A lot of the clients that we support are vendors
Yep.
at this market.
Hmm.
And so we know for sure firsthand that it makes a huge impact. So we are grateful for Bacardi for doing this and continuing to
Yep.
do it, you know?
Hmm.
And it gets bigger and better every year.
Yeah, we're always like, every time it comes around to planning, it's like, what can we do to make it bigger or better?
Yeah.
What can we do to make it more beneficial to the participants? Because for us, that's the greatest thing, that the vendors are getting something out of it.
Yeah.
Whether that be making more money through their sales, connecting with new audiences, getting inspired through like seeing other vendors or meeting other service providers or vendors at the market. So it's always really exciting to plan this.
Now, one of the things that you instituted, I think it was last year for the first time, was the master
Yeah.
class. And I just want to say kudos. If that was your brainchild, it was well worth it. I really, really enjoyed attending that. And I think that that provides a level of education and support to the vendors that maybe just showcasing their wares at the vendor market doesn't. Talk to me a little bit about why you decided to include that element.
So that was a great example of when we were like, what can we do to provide more impact and make this more valuable? And we had an observation, like a lot of vendors, they have great products and services, but they didn't necessarily have all the things. Like
Hmm.
some didn't have a POS
Hmm.
system to accept credit cards. Some didn't have great marketing or merchandising. Some didn't even have business bank accounts set up. There was a bit of a knowledge gap with some of the vendors. And so we thought, what could we do to
Hmm.
help bridge that gap? And again, inspire people, give people a networking opportunity. So, of course, we have that gorgeous space at Bacardi. So, we decided, you know what, let's host a masterclass. And of course, we've seen these things before through
Hmm.
organizations like the BDC. I myself have participated in things like that. People go to conferences for these
Yes.
things to learn these valuable tools. But we said we've got a lot of in house expertise. We have a lot of connections with partners like the BEDC. So we could host something, give vendors this opportunity to come and learn, to network, and be inspired. So that's kind of why we did it.
Hmm.
We want to see these vendors year on year grow, to
Hmm.
get even better, to grow their audiences, grow their businesses, and continue to generate income and build the legacies, similar to what we did Bacardi's own story.
Yeah,
You know?
that's what I mean. It's like, you know how they say walk it like you talk it.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember that song.
Yes. Like it's
Walk it
okay.
like you talk it.
Yes.
But I do feel that Bacardi is doing just that, you know. And it's visible. You're not just
Hmm.
talking it; you're actually walking it, and I think the vendors appreciate that.
I want to like just say, just in general, because I lead philanthropy,
Yeah.
we really feel like if we're going to work with a charity, we want to actually invest in the charity. So it's
Hmm.
a different mindset than saying like write a check and then
Yes.
you run with it. We're very keen to have multi-year partnerships where we can really have a plan and see the impact, and also invest in organizations or initiatives that our staff can really get invested in as well. So there's some action
Yeah.
behind those dollars. There's like an outcome and an impact that
Hmm.
we're striving towards behind those dollars. I think sometimes organizations just kind of like to give it and then put it in a press release. So we donated all this money,
Right.
which is great. I'm not taking away from that. Charities need the money, but there's so much more that we can give
Hmm.
through our own time, through our own expertise, through giving people access to our space.
Hmm.
So through giving people access to our connections,
Yeah.
there's like so much more you can do beyond the dollars.
Yeah.
So that's kind of our approach in general.
And I would agree with that. I think it's needed, right?
Hmm.
Because once you give the money, if you don't have sort of the guidance, considering this might be your first foray into entrepreneurship, then sometimes that money can either get misused or not spent
Hmm.
correctly. So having that additional mentor and coaching and
Yep.
guidance, I think is invaluable.
Hmm.
So what are some of the things that you hope the vendors take away from this upcoming masterclass?
So this year's masterclass, the theme is think bigger, start smarter.
Okay.
And it's actually perfect because I think it's a nice build Not that we copy BEDC, but it's a nice,
Copying is the
great
best form of
minds.
flattery.
There you go. Great minds think alike. So I mentioned like observations with our vendors. We noticed that they don't necessarily start a business with the mindset that they're going to grow this into a
Hmm.
global business or they're going to expand beyond the borders of Bermuda, which is a shame because a lot of people are creating great products or services that the world deserves to have access to.
Absolutely.
So it's a mindset thing, it's an education thing, awareness thing. It's a confidence thing. So this year, our master class is going to be focused on sharing information that helps inspire vendors to take on that mindset from the very beginning. If you're going to start up a business, or no matter where you are in the process, start thinking bigger
Hmm.
and start putting things in place that are smarter, that are going to set you up for success. So, our panel is going to be comprised of individuals that offer services that help you put all that in place or help you to create that mindset.
Hmm.
Or they're examples of entrepreneurs that have done that. They have created businesses in Bermuda, but have put fundamentals in place that have enabled them to scale, to
Hmm.
go beyond the borders of Bermuda. Because that's what we want to see. We want to see more Bermudians selling products on the world stage. And if we
Absolutely.
could be a conduit for that, that's a great example of how we're making an impact.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I'm looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
that. Do you want to talk a little bit about who is
Sure.
on the panel?
We're excited to invite Penrose Partners to our panel this year. That's a digital asset management company that has been doing great work in the Bermuda community for a couple of years. People might be familiar with the tech summit that they
Yes.
put on Front Street, and they already work with local vendors
Hmm.
to set them up with digital wallets and enable them to transact wallet to wallet, which helps eliminate unnecessary fees,
Hmm.
which means more money in the pockets
Yes, we love
of
that.
those vendors. And we've also, I don't want to talk about the entrepreneurs yet because I haven't set those in stone, but
Okay.
let's just say they are examples of individuals that have created businesses in Bermuda and either scaled in Bermuda tremendously
Hmm.
or have taken their products beyond the borders of Bermuda. So
Okay.
really inspiring stories to show people that if they can do it, you
You
can
can
do
do
it
it
too.
too. Yep. And sometimes
Yeah,
that's all you need to see. You need to physically see that this is an example of someone who started here.
exactly.
Maybe it's Bermuda made or whatever Bermuda conceived, but now it's out in the world to the
Yeah.
rest of the world. So I love
Really
that.
quick point too,
Sure.
just so people know, the masterclass is only open to vendors participating in the market.
Got you.
They are allowed to bring a guest, but
Hmm.
we're trying to keep it very focused, very small, and very specific to the vendors in our market. So it's just another advantage of participating in our market. So any vendors out there for next year, make sure you
You've
get
just
on our
dashed
list.
some people's dreams.
Yeah, I know, because
But
I
they
was
can
like,
get on the list,
they could
right?
get on the
Yeah.
list. And obviously, if anybody's interested in this, we're happy to make connections. But
Yes.
the actual masterclass, yeah, it's going to be for our vendors in the market,
Okay.
participating in the market
So then that's happening before the market.
before the market.
And when is the actual vendor market taking place?
That is taking place Friday, February 27th. It'll kick off at 4:30 p.m.
Hmm.
and go until 7:30 p.m. So very similar to last year, we're going to have about 50 vendors in the market, excluding food trucks and stuff. So
Hmm.
on top of that, we're having food trucks and all of the
And they're vendors too, so
yeah, they are
still
vendors.
are gonna
They are vendors, but it's going to take place at our global headquarters on Pitts Bay Road on our beautiful lawn. We'll have it set up as a market. It'll be a very diverse array of vendors from accessories and clothing to homewares to books to services
Hmm.
as well. So
Oh, I love that.
such a diverse mix. A lot of people, I'm sure, will come and discover new businesses they've never even heard
Hmm.
of, new products they didn't even know were available in Bermuda. There's a lot of people creating products, so homemade things, or so very, very fun. And then, of course, can't be Bacardi without entertainment.
Oh, yes.
Ain't no party like a Bacardi party, right?
That is very true.
We always have to have a little bit of a party. We always are going to share complimentary our drinks. We give out RTDs, we call them ready to drinks of our Bacardi rum mixes. We're going to have a DJ. We're going to have dancers and gambes, and we're going to have a kids zone. We always have like a bouncy castle and face painting and treats that the kids love. It's definitely a family affair. It's definitely open to all of the community, not just the Black community. We want everyone to come out. And it's a really fun time. We've been so lucky with great weather for the last 3 years. Because it is all outside.
Yes.
But it's a really, really fun, high energy event. And a blast.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, Kids Corner.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. And I understand that you're expanding it this year.
Well, let's not call it a kids corner because we're actually not sure if all the kids are going to be in one spot.
Okay.
But this year, we every year we have young entrepreneurs reaching out about, or their parents reaching out about their opportunity to be in the vendor market. And I think we had somebody last year, a young entrepreneur, and we've gotten more this year. So we've decided, yes, it's a great addition.
Yes.
It's great to see young Black children, out there creating businesses, running businesses, engaging with consumers, and really learning the fundamentals of running a business from such a young age. So we want to give that space to those kids. And so, we're expecting a few young entrepreneurs. They might be placed in what we call the kids zone, which is where the bouncy castle and everything is. But that's an expansion for sure. So come out and support them as well.
Well, we like to see it, right? Because we run our summer student entrepreneurship program, and we're always looking for continual opportunities for these young entrepreneurs to showcase what they have. And we fundamentally believe that the earlier the start, the better, right? If you can get kind of the foundation at a young age, then as you grow into adulthood, then you're on top of it. And then that global expansion that you're trying to encourage people to do is already embedded into how they think about vending and entrepreneurship, etc. So happy to hear that you guys are creating space for them.
Yeah, and it also teaches them incredible life skills. Like, so many kids these days don't know how to engage, to socialize. I mean, people can blame it on COVID, but
or the phone, just everything's
or the
on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. But it's such an important skill to learn, especially in a place like Bermuda, which is very small, very community based. Lots of opportunities are based on who you know and how you show up.
Yeah.
So building those skills of how to engage with adults, how to socialize, how to sell and promote yourself, getting comfortable in these spaces. It's just something that if you learn that from young, it's just going to really benefit you no matter what path you take.
Yeah, so absolutely.
I think it's just so important for kids to get out there and just get off the phone and speak to people
face to face, right?
Yeah,
IRL in real life. Right?
Exactly.
So in terms of the feedback, right? Because like you said, 4 years running, which is great. So what kinds of things are the vendors saying about their experiences and why they look forward to this every year?
Yeah, so following the vendor market, we always do a feedback form with our vendors because we always want to know how to improve. And the feedback that we have gotten is that it's an incredible event for them in terms of exposure.
Okay.
So definitely an opportunity to connect with new audience because, like I said, this is a prime Front Street location that not a lot of businesses can have access to because it's just so expensive to have a Front Street right in the middle of town location. So suddenly you have this platform and you're connecting with audience that don't necessarily go beyond, that Front Street. So they're connecting with new audiences and different audiences. They're also, and that just translates into more sales. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people have said, it is a huge opportunity for revenue and for growth in their business. Um, and so with more money, they can invest in their
Yeah.
business. They can expand. They're also getting feedback from a new audience that gives them insight into what other products they can potentially look to sell
Mm-hmm.
or create. So we get a lot of feedback about I made more money, I connect with new audiences, I learned new things,
Mm-hmm.
I got inspired, I formed new partnerships because, like I said, there are other vendors there, and you might have synergies.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's really great, and I'm a huge promoter of promoting yourself,
Yeah.
and sometimes just having that visibility, and being associated with certain spaces or events forms something in somebody's mind, and they
Mm-hmm.
think, oh yeah, this is a product I need to be having, or this, because they've connected with you as an individual and they really like you, or they
Mm-hmm.
mesh with you. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
that's the product I need to be purchasing or using because I want to, like, I vibed with that vendor or that person or that creator.
Right.
So yeah, lots of great benefits for the
Mm-hmm.
vendors.
Well, that's good to hear, and that you get that feedback. I think is important
Mm-hmm.
to continue to iterate and make the event bigger and better. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So, those who might be listening and
Mhm.
who are not currently on the market list, can you talk a little bit about, firstly, how they can sign up, and why you think it's important for them to be part of something like this?
Yeah. So we've selected all our vendors for this year's market. So there's no more space for this year.
Okay.
But anybody listening, I really encourage you to follow us on at the Bacardi Guy on Instagram, and also subscribe to our newsletter, because that's how we communicated with the community that it was coming up, that the application process was going to be opened. And so if you're not following us or you're not on our newsletter, you might have missed it. We also did a press release. We also went on the radio. We did the things to get the word out, but that would be something I really encourage people to do. We'll For the fifth annual one, look out around October-ish.
Okay.
We'll start promoting it, putting it out there, looking for applicants. Applying doesn't guarantee you a spot
That's what I was
because,
going to say. Like, what are you looking for?
yeah, listen, we get inundated. Like, there are so many people in Bermuda with businesses,
I
Black-owned
know.
businesses. It's incredible. Like, I love it because I'm like, I learn about all these incredible businesses out there.
Mm-hmm.
But we get so many applications, but we only have 50 spots.
Right.
So what we look for is diversity, because we want to make sure we offer consumers coming
Yeah.
a diverse range of items. So if we get like 30 people who sell candles, we
Right.
obviously can't accept all of them. So once we diversify across the categories, we also want to give opportunities to people who haven't participated before.
Okay, that's
This
good
is
to
a
know.
completely free event. There is no charge to the vendors, right? And like I said, they get so much benefit out of it, but we want a lot more people to have that opportunity too.
Mhm.
So we can't every year have
The same ones,
vendors,
which is
We
good.
need to give opportunities to others. So we do prioritize that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we also prioritize vendors that we see also are making an effort. So just FYI, sometimes a vendor applies, but they don't give a lot of information. They have no social media
Yeah.
presence. We can't tell really what their
Mhm.
product is to determine if it's suitable.
Yes.
And that person might get overlooked because
Yes.
there's a bunch of others who have all those things in place. So this is actually an example of think bigger, start smarter. Like,
Yes.
have some fundamentals in
Mhm.
place, because when people are looking you up, trying to decide if they want to buy from you or feature you in their market, if you don't have some things in place, like a social media presence, a way we can contact you,
Mhm.
some visual assets like pictures of your products, like high quality pictures of
Mhm.
your products, it's hard for us to assess.
Mhm.
So that would be some advice to
Yes.
anyone to coming up for next year's market, when you apply, make sure you have some basics in place.
Listen, you would think that that would just be common sense to do that, but it's not. Sometimes I think people, we're all busy doing things. And so you're like, oh, let me do this and quickly, but you're not giving any information. And so it makes it so difficult when you're going through that kind of application process to even assess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I thank you for sharing that, because I think it's good for vendors to know just because you apply doesn't mean you're automatically going to get in. Think about it. You're applying against so many others. Like you said, if there's 30 candle makers, well, if you're one of the 30, what's going to make you stand out from the other ones who want this opportunity?
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I think that's good feedback.
Yeah.
If people are wondering why wasn't I selected, like reassess and reevaluate what you submitted.
Exactly. Exactly.
But then there's always another opportunity, because my understanding from you is that it's going to be something that Bacardi looks to do on an annual basis. So,
absolutely.
Okay, good.
And actually, something new we're doing this year is because we have people that will come to the market, buy things, but then they don't know how to get in contact with that vendor again, or maintain that relationship because that vendor doesn't have a physical location. I should also mention we prioritize vendors that don't have a physical location.
Okay.
Because if you already have a shop that people can go to, you're already one leg up. So again, we're trying to give people an opportunity to get there.
Yes.
So we're going to be creating a directory this year, a digital directory of all the vendors in our market that we will distribute, via our social media and via our newsletter, so that shoppers can continue to shop with those vendors or follow up at a later point with ease and remember who was in the market and stuff like that. So I'm excited to do that. And then I think this is our first year doing it. So over the years that directory will hopefully get bigger and bigger, and then it becomes like a really great resource
for people
that want to be intentional about supporting Black-owned businesses.
One of the reasons I'm going to do a plug for our Buy Bermuda virtual market, that's one of the reasons why we set it up. Because you have these vendors who have a presence at Harbor Nights or on the occasional vendor market, and you're like, well, where can I find them on a good day? But of course, the cost of getting a merchant account and getting all of that can be prohibitive for some. So one of the reasons is like, okay, you can list for free here, so that when people are looking for you, at least they can find you and still purchase your stuff outside of the actual market day. Like great minds think alike. That's what. So how can the wider community support the Bacardi Black-owned vendor market?
By showing up and spending money. Don't come and just walk around looking cute. Drop some dollars.
Yes, bring your money.
Exactly. And we reward you for that. So people who shop the market, you can take your receipt. We have a drop box and you're entered into a raffle to win like an incredible gift basket full of items from vendors from the market. We did that last year and the year before, I believe. But last year, I think it was really big and promoted. But you shop, you get a little receipt. We create these little receipts that the vendors can give you. We have a drop box, pop it in. As much as you shop, more times you get entered. And then you could potentially win, like a $500 gift basket.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So on top of the fact that you get to go and you enjoy the entertainment, you enjoy the drinks, you can bring your kids and they can have something to do, and you can find unique items that are made by locals or sold by locals. You can get the opportunity to win. More
exactly.
as a result of engaging in that. I mean, you guys have covered all the bases. Right?
Exactly. There's no excuse not to show up. It's gonna be fun. Everyone's welcome.
Yes.
And, it's just a great event that enables a lot of people. I mean, every day. I mean, this whole thing about Black History Month, like every day we should be celebrating,
of course,
us ourselves, but if we're going to be really using this as an opportunity to be intentional, this is a great way to do that.
Yes, I would agree 100%. So let's just remind everybody again when it is, how they can reach out for more information. Any last words?
Yeah, so it's Friday, February 27th. At the Bacardi Global Headquarters on Pitts Bay Road from 4:30 to 7:30. I really encourage everyone to follow us at the Bacardi Guy on Instagram and subscribe to our newsletter, which you can do through our Instagram to stay updated on everything about the market as well as all the other initiatives that we do. We have some really other great things coming up, like the
Yeah.
Shake Your Future launch. I'm
Yes.
not even going to go
I
into
know
all
we
the
haven't
things.
even, you got to
All
come
the
back to
things.
that because
Yeah.
I was like, we didn't even talk a little bit
Yeah.
about that, but
Yeah.
we'll focus on this. But
Yeah, but another great program. But so yeah, so Bermuda, just come out, come shop, buy and support from these local Black-owned businesses. Bring your friends, bring your coworkers, bring your kids. It's going to be a really great time. We're expecting over 1,000 participants, which is what we've had in previous years. There's entertainment, there's food, there's drinks.
there's no reason not to come.
Yeah, it's a great location. And we're even offering parking shuttles.
Oh, really?
Yes, you could park up at Woodex. We'll have a parking shuttle to bring you to and from. So parking's not an issue. So we've thought of all
You
the
thought
things.
of all the things.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I always find some good stuff. So bring your cash. Come ready to purchase.
Cash or cards. Lots of the vendors do have cards.
No,
But yeah,
they
bring
do.
cash just in case.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Look, we minded our business today. And just remember, if you don't mind your business, who will?
Exactly.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.